on State Highway 288, just south of Loop 610 in Houston. We're in the southbound lanes. You can see Houston up there to the north of us, and the skyline up there. There's you can see there, it's kind of a hazy day. That bridge up there, they're building a bridge over Airport Boulevard, and you can see how the lanes weave around it. We've made an effort to select a section just past the weave so that in all likelihood they won't alter our particular section. I think we'll be in pretty good shape. This section, the first monument, is located about 7 feet into the section. I'd marked off the section, and just before painting I noticed that the station 0 was at a joint, so I moved it back to the middle of the slab, and that explains the displacement of the monument. This section is supposed to be 11 inches joint reinforced concrete. I need to do a little bit of investigation. The joint spacing is only 15 feet, which does not coincide with our standard for joint reinforced concrete pavement. So there may be a little bit of a misunderstanding here. We'll be checking that in just a bit. If it's jointed plain, I think it'll still be a viable section for our study. The section does have a great deal of spalling at the joints. You can see here, there's quite a bit. There's quite a bit down there. It's interesting, it appears to have spalled back right up to the joints. You can see that the shoulder joint is in pretty poor condition. It looks as though there's quite a bit of water entering that joint there. But I don't see any significant slab cracking. The only real distress I note is the condition of the longitudinal joint and the spalling along the transverse joints. Y'all want to be famous? This is all my helpers. There's about a half-inch drop-off in spots from the shoulder to the main lane. You can see there's a little bit of, every once in a while, there's grass and so forth growing. This, right ahead of us is Sims Bayou Bridge. We're 300 feet, we originally set it up as 300 feet off that bridge. With the offset, it'll be like 305, 307 off the Sims Bayou Bridge. And then just ahead of that, there's another bridge that goes over, and I have to check, I believe it goes over Orem Road, O-R-E-M. I believe that's correct. It's Orem or Odum. Either O-R-E-M or O-D-E-M. There's the Sims Bayou. I don't know if you can see that yet. Sims, this is up there. Our section ends, like I said, about 305 feet prior to that. The end monument I did place at the end, so I'm getting smarter. Interestingly enough, as close as we are to Houston, I just show a close-up of the bayou and the work they're doing on the bridge. Again, where these cars are pulling off to go around the bridge, I believe there'll be an exit ramp. We should be in pretty good shape. We have a reasonable distance, at least 500 feet from that ramp. I'll pan around here. What I was going to say is, as close as we are to Houston, there is not a significant amount of development in this area. You can see Houston is just up there, just north of us. And just looking around, again, it's all pasture land. I'm going to go ahead and shut it down for just a minute, take some more pictures, and then I'll walk back through the project. See if I can get a little bit braver. I don't want to get too brave. This section does carry a fairly significant amount of traffic, as we can well imagine. 288 goes all the way down to Galveston. It's a parallel route to Interstate 45. It's just now being built, whereas 45 has been there for a fairly long period of time. They've added 288 to relieve 45. Again, there's no cracking, no significant faulting. There is quite a bit of spalling at the joints, and quite a bit of work that's needed for the longitudinal joint seal. But other than that, this stretch of road's in pretty good shape. Again, as I've mentioned, this section is in the southbound lanes of State Highway 288. It's supposed to be 11 inches of jointed reinforced concrete pavement, or approximately, I believe about 2 miles south of Loop 610. We're just north of the Sims Bayou Bridge, 300 feet north of the Sims Bayou Bridge. And that concludes section 48, 41, 14.